Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we're embarking on an incredible journey to a continent you think you know, but which holds a surprising, verdant past. We're talking about Antarctica, but not the icy expanse of today. Imagine an Antarctica covered in forests, bustling with ancient plant life. How do we know this? Thanks to the amazing science of palynology. Palynology is the study of fossil pollen and spores. These microscopic particles, often smaller than the width of a human hair, are preserved in sedimentary rocks for millions of years. They act like tiny time capsules, allowing scientists to reconstruct ancient ecosystems, figure out past climates, and understand how life adapted to massive environmental changes, especially on the now-icy continent. During the Mesozoic Era, which lasted from about 252 to 66 million years ago, Antarctica was a very different place. It was located further north than it is today and enjoyed a much warmer climate. The evidence from fossil pollen and spores is undeniable. Antarctica was once green and covered in diverse vegetation. Perhaps most astonishingly, around 90 million years ago, during the mid-Cretaceous period, temperate rainforests thrived near the South Pole. Analysis of fossilized roots, wood, pollen, and spores from sediment cores taken from the seabed near West Antarctica's Pine Island Glacier reveals a swampy landscape. These forests, similar to those found in New Zealand today, amazingly persisted even through months of polar darkness. This discovery tells us that average annual air temperatures were around 12 to 13 degrees Celsius, with summer averages hitting 19 to 20 degrees Celsius. This paints a picture of a significantly warmer world back then, likely with much higher atmospheric carbon dioxide concentrations than previously thought. And the plant story doesn't stop there. Around 85 million years ago, in the mid-late Cretaceous, flowering plants or angiosperms began to flourish in subtropical climates on the Antarctic Peninsula. Many of these were ancestors of plant groups now found in tropical regions. It's through pollen analysis from this period that the very first remnants of flowering plants at high Antarctic latitudes have been identified. Throughout much of the Mesozoic, however, Antarctic forests were largely dominated by conifers, like Arauciferians, think of monkey puzzle trees, and podocarps. Ferns, including impressive tree ferns and other primitive groups, made up a significant part of the understory. The ground cover was a rich tapestry of liverworts, hornworts, lycophytes, and mosses. This rich fossil pollen and spore record also allows us to track the evolution of Antarctica's climate. We can see it shift from that Cretaceous greenhouse state towards the icehouse conditions of the later Neogene period. After the peak warmth of the mid-late Cretaceous, a global cooling trend is evident in the latest Cretaceous. Interestingly, warm climates returned to high latitudes during the Paleocene and early Eocene, showing that climate change isn't always a one-way street. Over vast stretches of time, as temperatures cooled, the warmth-loving plants gradually gave way to flora more tolerant of cooler conditions, including freezing winters. Southern beeches, known as Nothofagus, and hardier Araucarian conifers became more dominant. And let's not forget, being at such high latitudes meant Mesozoic Antarctic plants had to be incredibly resilient, adapting to several months of continuous winter darkness, which dramatically impacted their growing seasons. So what exactly can these tiny pollen and spores tell us? A whole lot. By identifying the types of pollen and spores present, scientists can reconstruct the composition of ancient plant communities in detail. The types of plants found, and knowing the climatic tolerances of their modern relatives, allow for remarkably accurate estimations of past temperatures and moisture levels. In fact, palynology isn't just limited to the Mesozoic. The discovery of specific pollen types helped establish that January average temperatures on land reached around 10 degrees Celsius during a remarkably warm period much later, about 15.7 million years ago, showing the continued power of this technique. Shifts in pollen and spore assemblages over time clearly indicate changes in the environment, such as cooling trends or alterations in rainfall. Furthermore, fossil pollen helps trace the origins and migration routes of plant groups. This reveals fascinating connections between Antarctica and other southern hemisphere continents, like Australia and South America, which were all once part of the supercontinent Gondwana. For instance, fossil pollen records support the theory that the ancestor of the Nothofagus, or southern beech, may have actually originated in Antarctica during the late Cretaceous before spreading to other landmasses. And the research is far from over. Continued analysis of fossil pollen and spores from Antarctic sediments, including those obtained from ambitious geological drilling programs, remains absolutely critical. This ongoing work refines our understanding of the timing and pace of past climate change in polar regions. It helps us learn about the sensitivity of polar ecosystems and ice sheets to warming, a lesson of profound importance today. It shows us how life adapts to extreme environmental shifts and illuminates the complex interplay between vegetation, climate, and the configuration of continents. By meticulously piecing together the evidence preserved in these microscopic fossils, scientists are continuing to unveil the dramatic and surprising history of Antarctica's Mesozoic ecosystems. It's a story that offers vital perspectives on Earth's ever-changing climate system and the incredible resilience of life. It certainly makes you think differently about that vast frozen continent at the bottom of our world, doesn't it? Thanks for tuning in to G Fun Facts Online. Join us next time for more fascinating insights into our amazing world.